Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Mafex X-Men Cyclops Age of Apocalypse version action figure. And if you watched my Weapon X or Wolverine video from the same batch, you know I hate this version of Cyclops with a burning, searing passion. I've never liked this design at all. I know some of you do though, and I have to review it objectively as much as I can. So if it's a good figure, I will let you know. I doubt it's as good as Wolverine because that figure turned out great, but this figure has some really nice things, some very surprisingly nice things, in fact, going on here. And there's also some bad stuff too. We're going to talk about all of it though, so let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. All right, before we look at the figure, I do want to show you my package. Nice package. I think it looks good. I think they shouldn't do that. Somebody said one time, why shouldn't they put the source material on there? They should if the figure matches it. I think that's fine. The problem is it makes the figures look bad every time because like they didn't get any of it the way it should be. Is it good enough? Maybe, but this is a good example. Like the colors are off and the size and the hair and everything, but otherwise it's a fine pack. Like you can see, it's not okay. Well, even on here though, they have him very blue compared to the figure. There's a lot more saturation going on in here. But yeah, it's a nice package. Okay, I don't care about the package. Let's move on. This guy is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. If you want to get one, I'll put a link in the description below. He stands 16.5 centimeters. That's going to make him just about 6.5 inches. Take a tiny bit off for hair, for scaling purposes. He'll fit in with your Marvel Legends just fine. All right, that's out of the way. Question of the day, do you like this version of Cyclops? I know last time I reviewed one of this guy, a few people said, yes, I love it. But most people, and I'm not trying to make anybody change their mind, I'm just saying, I don't think this is the best. I don't think this is the best look. Most people seem to not be pleased with this look for Cyclops, but you guys can let me know. And if you have a particular AOA design you like, let me know that too, because for me, it's Iceman times a million. It's such a good design. All right, let's talk about the figure aesthetically. Two things stood out to me right away. One, the paint job. Love it. It's a nice matte finish other than where it's metallic, so that's good. There is shading throughout the blue and throughout the skin tone, and the hair is done really well. That's how you do it. It's hard probably to see because the brown is dark, but it's brown and black, and it looks very nice. The subtle shading on the skin tones, it's very subtle, but it looks very nice, and the matte finish is great. Same thing again on the blue. The shading is just wonderful. They really did a good job with the shading on these AOA figures, so that's great. The metallic gold, yeah, I mean, it could look a little nicer, I guess, but it's fine. But here's the bad part. Here's the other thing that stood out. His hips are janky. He's got the drop down hips, as is common for, or like I think all of the Mafex figures have had that, except his are not well placed. They're in the up position. That's where they need to be situated properly. They're way too wide. In order to get the hips where they belong, in terms of outward placement, you have to bring them all the way down here, and then obviously you have that gap. So you can't do that, and it looks bad. He's got birthing hips, which is really unfortunate. They nailed it with Wolverine. His hips are perfectly seated in the up position. See the difference? Cyclops looks not good here at all because of those hips. To put him in a stance, his legs are so far apart you could fit another leg in there almost. Not good, but otherwise it looks good. I'll say though, here's the other issue I noticed. His arms are slightly lanky, which is maybe a holdover from the Jim Lee Cyclops, which I have the reissue coming. I'll let you guys know if they adjusted it at all. This arm is slightly long. And this one, unfortunately, I actually measured it. It's a little bit longer than this arm, so it does not fall where it should. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I'll even bring the box back up because I know some people are going to say, well, it's just his design. No, it's not, because even with his giant bulky chest and stylized proportions, the arms still fall where they're supposed to, which is, as a rule, you want like this knuckle right here, roughly, to line up with the bottom of the peeper area. That's where you want that to be. His are close. This one's a little bit longer than this one, and this one's a little off. So it's not perfect. Once you pose it, it's not like it'll be terrible, but you always want to start from accuracy so that it looks better when it's posed. All that said, there's good and bad for this figure. I will give it a 7. No, you know what? I'm going to do 8 because I think the individual sculpt work is nice and the paint job is lovely. It's just the hips and the arms are throwing it off. Okay, as for accessories, we do have interchangeable heads. So you have the one head with his mouth closed, the one head with his mouth open. They do have some optional hair parts, which don't make a huge difference, frankly, but they are included. So if you like that, you get to do that. A decent spread of hands, probably everything you need. And then you get a few different optic blast effects. So I think that's great. I think these are probably the best optic blast effects that we've had. on any Cyclops figure. They look really nice. Though I do have to say, well, okay, first, let me give it a rating. We do have a display stand too. I'll give it a rating of 9 out of 10 for accessories. That's plenty. I think that's good. Okay, so let me say this. Whoever designed the AOA Cyclops, I don't think he had to stop using one of his eyes just because he wanted to have edgy hair. Like, you could let the hair hang down and then he could still shoot his blast through it. It'll grow back. I don't think they had to do that. All right, now that everybody's finished commenting against that rage bait, we can move on. Articulation on this guy is mostly pretty good. There's one thing that is just... I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And then other things I don't. The hair is hard. I mean, it's PVC, but it's hard PVC, so it's not exactly flexing to get out of the way. You can work around it, but not that much. So he's going to have significant limitations in what you can do with his head, as you would guess. Otherwise, he's got the double ball peg at the top, single ball peg at the bottom of the neck, and you can pose his head around, but the hair is almost always in the way, even on this side, because the shoulder pad's not there, but the hair does come down pretty close to his back, which is reasonable so that it doesn't look goofy, but it is going to be a problem. All right, so just be aware his hair is going to be a thing. Now, I'll talk about this arm first. The butterfly joint on this guy is one of their decent ones. It's not like the best thing they've ever done, but it'll work. It looks decent. You get decent range out of it. He might not be Nightwing levels of range, but yeah, he poses pretty well on that shoulder. That's good. No problems there. Full rotation. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbows. Not going to get the most range. Anytime these guys have something on their forearms, I think Mafex just goes, yeah, it's fine. So he can't really bend much better than a 90. And then ball hinge wrist, that's standard. All right, now here's the thing I love. They actually put some thought into this, and they put the straps on here. They are floaty straps. I mean, they connect at the bottom, and they just tuck in at the top. They just are a little bit too long, and they tuck in, which is exactly what they should do. I love it. They move around nicely. Let me just get this out of the way. They move around nicely with the shoulder pad, and the shoulder pad itself, chef's kiss. Love the way they did this. It connects to the arm, so you can move the arm around as you need to, and it doesn't look goofy. So you keep that down, you move the arm around, the shoulder pad is where it needs to be. These things have to flex, of course, and it's not going to ever be perfect because it's not a 2D drawing, but it does work like it needs to. And the thing I like most about this, other than these being loose slipping pieces, is the double hinge that they did on the shoulder pad. It really just lets it move out of the way entirely. That is a masterclass. I mean, it's not like a super useful thing because it's a very specific design, but shoulder pads are fairly common, and this is how you want to do them. If you can do it, you want to have them move around like this. Like, these could be probably even a little bit longer, but still, it works. You can get that arm all the way up with that giant pauldron on, and it works just fine because it's a double hinge, independent of the shoulder itself. It works really, really well. So I love that. And everything underneath and for the butterfly joint is the same as on this side. And then you get your bicep swivel, of course. Double jointed elbow, even worse. Well, maybe not worse, but still super limited range. But that shoulder pad is just really executed, I think, as well as it could be done. It sits nice and flush when you don't want to use it. And somebody has mentioned the other day about putting arms straight down. His arms go relatively straight down. This one doesn't, but this one does. But yeah, that shoulder pad is just really exactly how you want to do that. Now for the diaphragm, double ball peg here, single ball peg at the bottom. Belt is floaty, except for in the back. Again, they will not give me a perfectly floaty belt from Mafex, but he does lean back pretty nicely, slightly gappy, but it's not bad. Leaning forward, not bad at all. That is just fine. So I'll take that. And then going side to side works really well. I think the sculpt is nice on the anatomy too for the torso. Looks really good. And then you're going to get your rotation out of the top mostly, but you can also do the bottom. And the straps you'll have to play with, but they work. This is very well executed for this design. Very, very pleased with that. For the hips, as I already mentioned, they're not well placed and they are drop downs, but let's see if they function. You can kick up. His crotch feels like it doesn't want to flex as much as some of the other ones, but he can still kick nicely. So that's good. Ooh, that might need to get lubed. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's just a little tight. They do go back a little bit, going out to the side. Yeah, really good range. So it's just the placement. It's really unfortunate that they gave him birthing hips, because that's not the best. But once you pose him, hopefully you don't notice it as much. Thigh swivel works nicely. That's fine. Double jointed knee. Proportioning's back to being off again. It's about a ½ inch too long. That's unfortunate. You don't want that. You want this to be the same length as this. And they nailed it on Wolverine, but Cyclops has these goofy long shins again. For the ankles, Good range, not the best, but good enough. Ball hinge will work really nicely, of course. And then the toe, let's see if they've done the toe better than they did on Wolverine. Nope. Same thing, they still have this notch down here. You don't want that, it's not a notch, it's an extra piece, but whatever. Doesn't look great, doesn't function as well as it should. All right, his articulation. There's some stuff that's just wonderful and some stuff that's not good. I'll be generous and give him an 8. It'll be fine for sure. Once you pose him, you'll probably won't notice a lot of the issues, but there's definitely room for improvement, more so on this guy than I would have liked. But this is really nice, so he gets bonus point for that, I guess. All right, time for the final verdict. I can never be accused of being a hater. I mean, I can be, but they'd be wrong. I give Naruto reviews positive scores all the time. I hate this version of Cyclops, and it's a pretty darn good figure. It's not perfect. There's definitely room for improvement, but it's nice. I think it would have helped a lot if he just had a bigger chest to match the source material. Bigger chest, narrower hips, that would have gone a long way. But otherwise, it's a pretty solid release. Not their best, but it's good. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 overall. It's a nice one. If you are at all inclined to pick this up, I think you'll enjoy it. You'll have some gripes probably, but you will enjoy it, and now you are aware of it, so it won't bother you as much. So there it is. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.